The Chinese economy time bomb. Is the world watching the slowest financial collapse in modern history? For more than 2 decades, the world looked at China as an unstoppable economic machine. Megacities rising from farmland, factories running 24 hours a day, skyscrapers appearing overnight, a middle class exploding in size, and a government promising endless growth, endless prosperity, and endless stability. To many investors, China looked invincible. But beneath the surface of that economic miracle, cracks have been spreading for years. And now, in 2026, those cracks are becoming impossible to ignore. Because behind the polished headlines and state-controlled optimism lies something far more dangerous. A property crisis, a debt crisis, a confidence crisis, a demographic crisis, and possibly the largest economic slowdown the modern world has ever witnessed. The scary part? China is not just another country struggling economically. China became the factory of the world, the growth engine of global trade, the biggest buyer of commodities, the backbone of manufacturing, the second largest economy on Earth. So if China truly enters a prolonged economic collapse, the consequences won't stay in Beijing, or Shanghai, or Shenzhen. They will hit Europe, America, Africa, Asia, your investments, your pension, your grocery bills, your job market, and perhaps most terrifying of all, many experts believe the worst may still be ahead. The property bubble that built a nation. To understand China's danger, you must understand one thing. Real estate became the foundation of the entire Chinese economic model. For years, property in China wasn't just about owning a home. It became an investment, a retirement strategy, a status symbol, a savings account, and, in many cases, a speculative casino. Developers borrowed enormous amounts of money to build entire cities. Local governments relied heavily on land sales to survive financially. Families poured their life savings into apartments, and banks happily financed the expansion. At one point, the Chinese property sector was estimated to represent nearly 30% of the country's GDP when related industries were included. That is absolutely enormous. For comparison, during America's housing bubble before 2008, real estate was nowhere near as dominant. China essentially built an economy addicted to construction. The problem? You eventually run out of people to buy apartments. And that's exactly what happened. Ghost cities. The symbol of the bubble. One of the most surreal images of modern economics comes from China's so-called ghost cities. Entire neighborhoods filled with empty apartment towers, silent shopping malls, deserted roads, abandoned developments, places built for millions, but occupied by almost nobody. At first, many analysts dismissed concerns. They argued, China is urbanizing. People will move in eventually. This is just long-term planning. But years later, many of these areas remain eerily empty. The problem wasn't just overbuilding. The problem was that construction itself became the growth strategy. As long as cranes were moving and concrete was pouring, GDP numbers looked strong. But GDP growth built on debt and speculation can become extremely fragile, and eventually, reality catches up. Evergrande, the warning shot. The moment the world truly began paying attention was the collapse of China Evergrande Group. Evergrande was once one of China's largest property developers. It borrowed hundreds of billions of dollars. At its peak, the company symbolized the unstoppable rise of Chinese real estate. Then, the cracks appeared. Projects stalled, debt payments were missed, investors panicked, homebuyers lost confidence. Suddenly, the illusion of endless growth started breaking apart. And Evergrande was not alone. Other major developers also began collapsing under mountains of debt. What made this terrifying was not just the size of the companies, but how interconnected everything had become. Banks, local governments, construction firms, suppliers, middle-class families. Millions of people were tied directly or indirectly to the property market. When confidence disappears in a debt-driven economy, fear spreads incredibly fast. The middle class is losing confidence for decades. China's middle class believed one thing: tomorrow would always be better than today. That belief powered spending, investing, borrowing, entrepreneurship, and economic expansion. But confidence is now weakening. Young people struggle to find jobs. Consumers are spending less. Families are saving more out of fear. And businesses are becoming more cautious. This is a huge problem because modern economies rely heavily on psychology. If people stop believing the future will improve, they stop spending. When spending slows, businesses suffer. Hiring slows. Growth weakens. Fear increases further, and that creates a dangerous downward spiral. The youth unemployment crisis. One of the most shocking warning signs came when youth unemployment surged so dramatically that authorities stopped publishing certain statistics for a period. Think about how alarming that is. In a country with over 1 billion people, millions of educated young graduates were struggling to find meaningful work. Many online jokes in China reflected deep frustration. Graduates delivering food, degrees becoming decorations, young people lying flat and giving up on ambition. The lying flat movement became symbolic of a generation losing faith in the traditional path to success. Work endlessly, buy property, build wealth, trust the system. That promise no longer feels guaranteed, and when young people lose hope, long-term economic problems become much harder to solve. The demographic disaster. Nobody can ignore China also faces another terrifying issue. Its population is aging rapidly. For decades, the one-child policy helped slow population growth. But now, China faces the consequences. Birth rates are collapsing, the workforce is shrinking, the elderly population is rising, and fewer workers must support more retirees. This creates enormous pressure on healthcare, pensions, productivity, tax revenues, and economic growth. Historically, China benefited from having huge numbers of young workers powering factories and manufacturing. That demographic advantage is fading, and demographics are brutally difficult to reverse. Governments can stimulate markets, they can cut interest rates, they can print money, but creating millions of young workers overnight? Impossible. The debt mountain. China's debt problem is another ticking time bomb. Over the years, corporations borrowed heavily, local governments borrowed heavily, developers borrowed heavily, households borrowed heavily. Debt can accelerate growth temporarily. But eventually, debt must either be repaid, inflated away, or defaulted on, and none of those options are painless. Local governments in China are particularly vulnerable. Many relied on land sales to property developers for revenue. When the property market slowed, those revenues collapsed. Now, many local authorities face massive financial strain. That threatens infrastructure projects, public services, and regional economic stability. Some analysts fear hidden debt levels may be far worse than officially reported. And in highly centralized systems, transparency is often limited, which creates another problem. Nobody fully knows how bad things really are. Factories are feeling the pain. China's manufacturing engine is also slowing. Global demand weakened after years of inflation and economic instability worldwide. Meanwhile, Western companies began diversifying supply chains. Geopolitical tensions increased. Tariffs and trade wars expanded. Manufacturing slowly started moving elsewhere. Countries like Vietnam, India, Mexico, Indonesia have increasingly attracted production once dominated by China. This does not mean China will suddenly stop being a manufacturing superpower, but it does mean the unstoppable growth era may be ending, and for an economy built on rapid expansion, slower growth can feel catastrophic. The US-China Cold War. The economic battle between the United States and China has become one of the defining global conflicts of our time. This is no longer just about trade, it's about semiconductors, artificial intelligence, military power, technological dominance, energy security, and global influence. Restrictions on advanced chips and technology exports have become increasingly severe. China desperately wants technological independence. America desperately wants to slow China's rise in strategic industries. This creates uncertainty for global markets and businesses everywhere. And uncertainty is poison for investment. Can the government save the economy? China's government still has enormous power. It can inject liquidity, support banks, influence lending, stimulate infrastructure, control information, intervene in markets. But there's a growing question. Can even Beijing stop a structural slowdown? Because some problems are not temporary, they are foundational. You cannot endlessly build apartments nobody needs. You cannot force consumers to feel confident. You cannot instantly reverse demographic decline. You cannot magically erase trillions in debt, and you cannot guarantee growth forever. Why the world should be worried? Many people outside China assume this is simply China's problem. That is dangerously naive. If China experiences a severe economic crisis, commodity markets could collapse, global trade could slow sharply, multinational corporations could suffer, stock markets worldwide could panic, supply chains could face chaos again. Countries heavily dependent on Chinese demand could be hit especially hard. This includes exporters of oil, iron ore, copper, luxury goods, machinery, electronics. The ripple effects would be global. The biggest fear: loss of confidence. The scariest financial collapses in history often begin with one thing. People stop believing. Banks fail when confidence disappears. Currencies collapse when confidence disappears. Housing bubbles burst when confidence disappears. And economies spiral when confidence disappears. China's leadership understands this very well. That is why stability and public perception are treated as critical priorities. But confidence cannot simply be commanded forever. Eventually, reality becomes too powerful. The silent warning to the West. Ironically, China's problems may also act as a warning to Western economies, because many of the same dangers exist elsewhere. Debt addiction, housing bubbles, declining birth rates, wealth inequality. Over-reliance on stimulus, youth frustration, unaffordable living costs. China may simply be the first major economy confronting these structural pressures at enormous scale. And if the world refuses to learn from it, other nations could eventually face similar crises. Could China recover? Yes, absolutely. China still possesses massive industrial capacity, advanced infrastructure, technological ambition, strong state control, enormous financial resources. It remains one of the most important economies on Earth. But the era of effortless hypergrowth may be over, and transitions from boom economies to slower growth economies are often painful, politically sensitive, and unpredictable. The real question is not whether China disappears. It won't. The real question is whether China can avoid a prolonged stagnation, a debt spiral, or a crisis of confidence large enough to shake the global economy itself. Final thought. For years, the world looked at China and saw the future. Now many investors are beginning to ask a frightening question. What if the world's greatest economic miracle was also the world's greatest economic bubble? Because beneath the skyscrapers, mega projects, and official optimism lies a system under enormous pressure. A shrinking population, a collapsing property market, weakening confidence, massive debt, youth frustration, geopolitical tension, and slowing growth. The scary part is this story is still unfolding. Nobody truly knows whether China is heading toward stabilization, stagnation, or something far more dangerous. But one thing is certain: when the second largest economy in the world starts shaking, the entire planet feels the tremors. And remember, the goal of this channel is not fear, it's preparation. Because while most people ignore the warning signs, smart people pay attention early. If you enjoy deep economic analysis, financial warnings, market psychology, geopolitics, and the future of money, subscribe to Mindful Minds and Money, where we break down the world economy before it breaks your wallet. Stay informed, stay alert, and never stop questioning the system.